our last session of the day with Ambassador Mr. Dr. Deepak Vohra, Special Advisor, Prime Ministers of Letso of Geneva, Bissau and Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council, Kargil and Leh as a speaker, and Mr. Parag Jobanputra, the President of Rajkot Management Association as the chairman of the session. With a big round of applause, let's welcome Dr. Deepak Vohra and Mr. Parag Jobanputra on stage.
Okay.
धर्मेश भाई ने अमिताभ बच्चन से शुरू किया था तो मुझे भी लगता है कि बच्चन से ही शुरू कर दे। मुझे ये लगता है, मुझे पता नहीं है, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि जो एम्बेसडर्स की दुनिया होगी उसमें सर शायद उसके तो अमिताभ बच्चन रहे ही होंगे। आपको क्या लगता है?
ये कौन है अमिताभ बच्चन?
गोपाल कृष्ण जी निकल गए, लेकिन अच्छा हुआ, क्योंकि रेखा का क्या होता है वो मुझे पता नहीं है।
मेरी पत्नी का नाम रेखा है।
Oh my God, I'm sorry. असली रेखा कहाँ पे पता चल गया आज सबको। लेकिन सर ने कमर्शियल फिल्म्स में काम किया है, आई थिंक टेलीविज़न पे भी काम किया है, और मैं ज़्यादा तो उनका जो बायोडाटा है वो पढ़ूंगा नहीं, क्योंकि आप लोग जो यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं उनको हम लोगों ने जो मार्केटिंग किया था पूरा, वो दीपक वोहरा जी की जो सारी वीडियोस थी, फिल्म्स थी, उसी को दिखा दिखा के किया था, तो आप लोगों को पता ही है। सो I think it is better that we listen to him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, sir.
First slide. Thank you very much. Mr. President, Rajkot Management Association, Sanjay Grover साहब और प्रबीर साहब जो आइमा से आए हैं, Management Association राजकोट के जितने distinguished office bearers हैं, all my friends, our senior people और राजकोट की, गुजरात की, भारत की शान जो मेरे सामने बैठी है। मेरा नाम दीपक वोहरा है, मैं भारत का सबसे खूबसूरत राजदूत हूं। Served as ambassador in Armenia, Georgia, Sudan, South Sudan, Poland and Lithuania, now special advisor for 3 heads of government in Africa, South Sudan, Lesotho, Guinea-Bissau and 2 in India, in Kargil and Leh. तो मेरे 5 पति हैं और मुझे मेरे दोस्त द्रौपदी के नाम से जानते हैं। You made a reference to the commercial films I acted in, that is true, sir. जब मैं कॉलेज में था, आप लोगों की उम्र का, when I finished, by the time I finished my MA from St. Stephen's College, I was already India's topmost television star, so I decided to go to Bombay. फिल्म एक्टर बनूंगा। 2 फिल्मों में काम भी किया, दोनों की दोनों सुपर फ्लॉप्स हो गई। एक का नाम था फालतू, दूसरी का नाम था फेल। बहुत मजा आया। तो अगर next 15 or 20 minutes बेटा, if you can not look at your mobiles, if you can resist the temptation of Twitter, Instagram, talk, वो जो भी है, if you can avoid that, क्योंकि आपका जो पड़ोसी मुल्क है ना, उसका नाम भूल जाता हूँ, उसको हम कह के आए कि हम जंग नहीं करेंगे next 30 minutes. So if you could resist this. Now first of all to Rajkot Management Association, thank you. ये जो आपने मुझे slot दिया है ना बोलने के लिए, सब लोग ऐसे होते हैं, नींद आ रही होती है सबको. Thank you very much. Very quickly we are going to take a look at what's happening globally और भारत में इस समय क्या हो रहा है। अब एक क्विज है आप लोगों के लिए, जवाब दोगे? अच्छा, मैं सवाल पूछूंगा। दुनिया में कितने लोगों के पास बिजली है? 50%, 20%, 50 या 90? कितने लोगों के पास बिजली है गरीब से गरीब देश मिलाकर? How many do you think? 20, 50 or 90? Come on guys. 20, very good. दुनिया में कितने बच्चे हैं जिनका टीकाकरण, वैक्सीनेशन अगेंस्ट सम डिजीज? 20, 50 और 90? whole world, including all the poor countries. 50, good figure, बीच वाला है. कितने बच्चे जिनका जन्म 2011 के बाद हुआ है who will reach their 100th birthday? 2%, 15 or 33? 2%, very good. पूरी दुनिया में जो 30 साल का मर्द है like me, a 30-year-old man like me, would have done 10 years of school. और पूरी दुनिया में गरीब से गरीब दे मिलाकर a 30-year-old woman would have done 3, 6 or 9. 3, excellent. Now let me give you the correct answers. First, have you heard of the World Economic Forum in Davos? 2 years ago, 15 questions like this, sir, were put to the 2000 Maharathi business people, prime ministers, presidents, diplomats, professors, industrialists who come to determine the world's future. Their success rate in these 15 questions was 7%. 7%, the people who are writing our destiny. Then we went to the Chidiyaghar, and on a random basis, we did the same test for chimpanzees. Their success rate was 33%. आप लोगों का क्या है मैं नहीं बताऊंगा. अब मैं आपको सही जवाब देता हूं. Please take a look very carefully. 90% of the people in the world have bijli, 90% of the world's children have been vaccinated. 33% of children born after 2011 will celebrate their 100th birthday, and a 30-year-old woman would have done 9 years in school. Beta, the world is a much better place than you imagine it to be. आपके जवाब गलत इसलिए थे कि हम सबके जिस्म में 2 प्रकार की जीन्स होती हैं, पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव. हमने पॉजिटिव जीन्स को मार डाला है. And we've allowed our negative genes to come up. Because your information is based on Professor Google, on what you hear, what you see, what you read. We do not observe the reality. मैं राजकोट पहली बार आया था in 1974. I came back in 1980. Since then, I've been coming regularly to Rajkot. Every time I come, there's a new building. There's a new भाई कौन है ये Chinese equipment लगता है ये कभी कभी शोर मचाता है. There's a high-rise building coming up. I see the development taking place. Please let your positive genes come back. Take a look at what is happening. First transition in the world. Demographies are changing. Median age का मतलब होता है आधी जनसंख्या उससे कम है, आधी जनसंख्या उससे ज्यादा है. भारत की मीडियन एज है 28. Half of India is below the age of 28 like these kids and I, and the others like you gentlemen here is more than 28. Western Europe is 44. The Pope said Europe is an elderly and haggard continent. ये मैंने नहीं बोला, ये Pope ने बोला था. और मेरे टीचर थे at the Sorbonne, University of Sorbonne in Paris when I was studying there, Alfred Sobey, he said Europe will soon be an old continent of old people living in old homes discussing old ideas. Last 30 years, no innovation out of Europe. Number 1 innovation comes from the United States, number 2 comes from Japan, number 3 comes from China, and in IT, number 1 is your country, our country, India. Window of opportunity hoti hai. Window of opportunity, please understand the demographic window of opportunity when there are more people in the productive age group, which is considered 15 to 64, then those who are less than 15, they consume more than they produce. Those who are above 65 consume more than they produce. India today, for the first time in human history, has 1 billion people in the productive age group. We are the youngest country in the world. कौन रोक सकता है इस ताकत को? उसका जन्म अभी नहीं हुआ. जापान की मीडियन एज है 47. कितनी है? वो बच्चे पैदा करने भूल गए हैं. हम सिखा देंगे सर, टेक्नोलॉजी है हमारे पास. सर क्या? We may not be a productive society, we are a reproductive society. क्या हो गया? और अफ्रीका में 2 देश हैं, चाड एंड नीजर. देयर मीडियन एज इज लेस देन 16. अब वो दिन भर क्या करते हैं आप पूछ के आना, मुझे नहीं मालूम है. आपने अगर महाभारत पढ़ी है, उसमें एक अध्याय है जहाँ 5 पांडवों को बहुत प्यास लगती है, वो जंगल में जाते हैं, वन में जाते हैं, तालाब से पानी पीने लगते हैं, एक यक्ष उनसे सवाल करता है, जवाब नहीं दे पाते, 4 मूर्छित होकर गिर जाते हैं. देन धर्मपुत्र युधिष्ठिर goes and the yaksh says, answer my questions, then your brothers will be revived. First question the yaksh asks, what is man's greatest possession? Yudhishthir says, education. Education. Sir, 10,000 साल पहले India was talking of education जब ये गोरे जंगलों में घूम रहे थे नंगे होकर. We were talking of education at that time. 50,000 colleges and universities in India today. How many? 50,000. 15 lakh schools. 32 crore students in India. 32 crore. Criticize all you want. जितनी गाली देनी है, आलोचना करनी है, जो कहना है सरकार के बारे में बोलो. The numbers speak for themselves. There is thirst for education. And when I see these figures today, what I say to myself, सर वो जंग नहीं होगा, आप फोन पे ना बात करें, सर जंग नहीं होगा उनके साथ, हमने कह दिया उनको. और जब हम लोग ये फिगर्स देखते हैं, you know what, एक पुराना गीत है, मैं गुनगुनाता हूं, कोई लौटा दे मेरे बीते हुए दिन. I want to be young again. I'm still young, but I want to be even younger in India. I want to be an educated young Indian. This is the best place to be. We are in intellectual overdrive. अमेरिका का एक प्रेसिडेंट था, बराक ओबामा, नाम सुना है आपने उसका? 3 बार आता है, twice as president of the United States and once he comes after he's retired. Now we are trained to observe these signals. Why does he come 3 times? He doesn't have a girlfriend in Rajkot, at least as far as I know. But he comes, goes back to America and tells American children, there are millions of children in India who are studying every day to out-educate and out-compete you. He goes and tells American kids that watch out for these Indian fellows. Sooner or later, they are going to dominate the world, and he was absolutely right. First mega trend we have seen of the youthification of India, the focus on education. Second is shifting economic power. We are the world's 3rd largest economy already. And according to the new World Wealth Report of 2019, not my report, ladies and gentlemen, my dear sons and daughters of India, ये मैंने नहीं कहा, ये New World Wealth Report कहती है, India's private wealth is $8.2 trillion. Trillion में 12 zero होते हैं, the 6th largest in the world, और फिर कहते हैं भारत बहुत गरीब देश है. And this private wealth includes मम्मी पापा ने जो black money locker में रखा हुआ है ना, वो इसमें included है. $8.2 trillion, and how many years to 2028? 8 years? And according to this report, in 8 years, the average Indian will have twice as much private wealth as the average British citizen or the average German. ये मैंने नहीं कहा, इस रिपोर्ट ने कहा, ताली तो बजा दो यार. And where are we spending this money? Madam, ये आपसे सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ, ये पैसा हम कहाँ खा? Number 1, looking better. Hey! Nice clothes and beauty parlor. Madam, beauty parlor में जाती हैं ना? हाँ, आप भी जाते हैं सर, बिल्कुल जाते हैं सर, हम सब जाते हैं. Do you know, in India we have 650,000 villages and small towns and medium towns and large. 6.5 लाख गांव और agglomerations हैं total. और सर 1.5 करोड़ ब्यूटी पार्लर है हमारे देश में. We are obsessed with looking better. Then we are eating better. अरे आपके राजकोट में भी तो कोई मैकडोनल्ड या डोमिनो या स्विगी, पिग्गी, टोमेटो, जोमेटो सब होंगे ना यहाँ पर. That's not eating better, but yet we are spending money. Living better, traveling better. 1.3 billion people. Last year we made 2 billion visits outside our place of stay. Look at the figures. We are traveling. We have the money to spend. Communicating better. 1.3 billion population and 1.6 billion mobile phones. अच्छा, यहाँ पे कितने लोग हैं जिनके पास स्मार्टफोन है? Come on, put up your hands. अच्छा नहीं, all right, sorry. यहाँ कितने लोग हैं जिनके पास मेरी तरह डम्ब फोन है? One hand went up. Sir, promise? All right, sir. आपने कहा आपके पास डम्ब फोन है, fantastic. Now my son gave me this ये वो सेब वाला है ना जो सेब बेचता है, क्या ना, एप्पल. हाँ, तो उसने मेरे को ये, उन्होंने बेटे ने फोन दिया कि पापा आप बुढ़े हो गए। मैंने कहा बुढ़ा तेरा बाप। कहते वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूं। तो आप भूल जाओगे कहां पे हैं। यू कैन आस्क मिस्टर सिरी। सिरी है ना एक इसमें, तो अभी मैं पूछूंगा, पूछ लूं। हे सिरी, वेयर एम आई नाउ?
You're at Gali number 4 Rajkot.
Is that correct? Gali number 4 Rajkot? Very good. अंग्रेज की औलाद है ना। Hey Siri, hey Siri, where is my wife now? Hey Siri, where is my wife now? फिर पूछता हूं, Hey Siri, where is my wife now?
Which wife?
उल्लू का पट्टा कहता है which wife? अरे कमीने गधे बेवकूफ। सर मेरी एक ही पत्नी है सर, आई प्रॉमिस यू। 42 इयर्स, अब तो वारंटी भी खत्म हो गई है भाई, एक ही है। I mean 42 years I've been married to that same lovely woman, her name is Rekha, and we have been together. Then sir, feeling better, enjoying better, this is where we are spent. ये कभी मत पूछना अपनी पत्नी के सामने कि मेरी पत्नी कहाँ पर है, नहीं तो ये सिरी पता नहीं क्या बोलेगा। बेटा ये मैंने नहीं, गोल्डमैन सैक्स ने लिखा है, India's story will be shaped by the 45 crore people, Gen Next. Next is those born after 1995. Those born from 85 to 94, उनको हम millennials कहते हैं, and Gen Next, Gen Z after 1995. The sheer size of India's youth, combined with improved education and spending power, will be the world's most compelling story. ये मैंने नहीं कहा, गोल्डमैन सैक्स ने देख लिया आप लोगों की ताकत, भारत किधर जा रहा है, और वो प्रिडिक्शन कर रहा है द मोस्ट कंपेलिंग स्टोरी फॉर द नेक्स्ट 20 years. ताली बजा दो यार, मजा आएगा. And then of course we have one life-changing technology every week. It's the fourth global mega trend. We have climate change, which is a big issue, and engineered intelligence. What is the result of these tectonic changes? 15% of the world's population that for 200 years ruled the other 85%. They can't accept this. They are terrified of losing their privileged lifestyles. मैं यूरोप में जाता हूँ, अमेरिका में जाता हूँ, कहीं जाता हूँ, इन लोगों के चेहरों पर डर है, क्योंकि ये ईस्ट कहाँ से उठ रहा है to challenge us. Disruption, depression, loneliness is growing in the old world. By the way, do you know Britain has a minister for loneliness? Please Google it. There is a minister for loneliness, and if the lady is very old and lonely, because they said that 9 or 10 million Britons are lonely, and if she's very lonely, then they send a handsome young man to look after her and have a conversation with her. Minister for Deloitte. Have you heard of a company called Deloitte? Acha, Google kariyega. 2019 Deloitte survey of millennial attitudes. Sir, 42 countries surveyed. 42. How many? 16,000 children. 16,000 millennials and Gen Z asked, how optimistic are you about the future? Not my survey, Deloitte, sir. They do it every year. The latest is 2019. How optimistic are you about the future? 16,000 children surveyed, millennials and Gen Z. And in that list of 42, at the bottom, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Germany, England, US, Canada, they don't seem optimistic about the future. And right on top is a country called India. This survey has been... अरे ताली जोर से बजाओ यार, क्या कर रहे हो? Do you understand? This is optimism. And then they were asked, these kids were also asked, when I was finishing college, my 3 priorities: get a good job, right sir? Have a house, and marry a lovely life partner. All 3. Wonderful. These kids were asked, what are your priorities? These 3. They said, none of the above. We wish to give back to India what India has given to us. Look at the thought process. बेटा, आप लोगों को हम समझ नहीं पा रहे, जो आपकी ताकत है वो इतनी शक्तिशाली है कि कोई उसके सामने खड़ा नहीं हो सकेगा. Lovely, lovely cartoon in The Economist. This is About 7-8 years ago, Sardar Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister, Mrs. Gandhi sitting there, and the then British Prime Minister David Cameron. झुक के सलाम करोगे and saying मेरे देश को पैसे दे दो, मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है, पैसे लेने तो आया था मेरे देश में, और अब हमसे फिर से मांग रहा है. The fourth most powerful military in the world. Take a look at India's growing self-confidence. Do you do yoga? You remember that in 2015, we went to the UN to get an International Day of Yoga declared. 193 members of the UN, 177 co-sponsored it, the largest in the history of the United Nations. We didn't need to vote. I'm sitting there listening to the speeches. One European ambassador says, my country supports yoga because India is the spiritual mother of all mankind. Kya baat hai? Look at the way they talk about India. Yemen, July 2015, civil war. They were nationals of 40 countries stuck in Yemen, and when a civil war takes place, normally a country will send its people to bring out its citizens. We were the only country allowed to go in. Not the British, not the French, not the Germans, not the Americans, not the Russians, not the Chinese. The Yemenis said, we trust the Indians, let them go. So we went in. We brought out nationals from 40 countries. Same year, sir, I'd gone to Paris for a reunion of my university. November of 2015. The immigration officer at Orly Airport sees my passport, and since I speak French fluently, tells me, Ambassador of India. I said, yes. He said, oh, you brought so many 100 French nationals out of Yemen. मैंने कहा भाई गलती होगी तो वापस भेज देते. तो बोला क्या बात है? He says, wait. मैंने कहा पता नहीं क्या करेगा. बाहर आके young officer, 28, 29, stands in front of me, salutes and says, thank you, India. Thank you, India. Beta, some of you have forgotten, man, you probably don't even know. There's a thing called the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Islamic countries, 54 members, formed in 1969 in Morocco, founding conference. India was invited. So we went. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed Sahib was leading our delegation, and the evening before the founding conference, Pakistan's president had a fit, and he said, no, India cannot attend. We were asked to leave. We were not allowed into the conference hall. We did not have the strength. We came away. So 50 years later, at the 50th anniversary of the founding of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, they invite a guest of honor, a country called India. They invite you because the world now recognizes our strength. They know what we can do. Thank you. We'll do it all ourselves. 2004 tsunami. Do you remember anybody? All the international NGOs said, we are coming to help. We said, no, thank you. We'll do it ourselves. In fact, our people went elsewhere. Kashmir earthquake 2015. Kedarnath, the flash floods. Kerala. Are there any Malayalis here? Anybody from Kerala? All right, then I can tell you, these guys are terrible because they set a bad example. They do everything themselves. They don't want help from anybody. I know this. We went and asked the Malayalis, do you want any help from the center? They said, get lost. We'll do it ourselves. The floods in Kerala. Cyclone Bulbul, West Bengal, massive destruction. How many international NGOs came? Shunya. We don't allow them to come in anymore. We do it ourselves. No one is above the law, beta. This is the new India. ये आपका भारत है. वो गॉडमैन जो है ना, सेल्फ स्टाइल्ड, वो जेल में बैठे हैं. एक तो राम सिंह, रहीम सिंह, क्राइस्ट सिंह, बुद्धा सिंह, जो भी उसका नाम है, वो भी बैठा हुआ है. आसाराम जी भी बैठे हैं. 2 former chief ministers sitting in jail. One Bollywood actor thought he could shoot a black buck revered by the Bishnoi community and get away. He won't. He's on bail. His bail is being cancelled, and trust me, he will serve time in jail. You don't play with the sentiments of the people of India. अब भारत की ताकत देखो. ये नया भारत है. ये किसी की जागीर नहीं है बेटा. ये आप लोगों का भारत है. Sikkim was, by the way, Nepal, 2015 again. Massive earthquake, sir. Our relief operations began in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, in 8 hours, we were airborne with the first relief supplies from India. And Nepal's Prime Minister said, my country is privileged to have a neighbor like India. We are blessed to have a neighbor like India. Sikkim earthquake, 2011. 300 landslides broke the road from Siliguri in West Bengal to Gangtok. एक ही सड़क है. International experts told us 6 हफ्ते लगेंगे to repair this. So there was no way we could wait 6 weeks. So we asked the Border Roads Organization. Have you heard of the Border Roads? Part of the Indian Army. We asked them. They said, let's do a survey and we'll inform you. I know this. I was there with my Doordarshan team. We were filming the relief work going on. They said, we'll just do a survey and come back to you. Sir, 19 hours later, we got a phone call. The road is open. In 19 hours, as against 6 weeks. I want to show you this picture. Can you see it? Do you see this little fellow? 24-year-old boy. He's standing without any harness, without any protective gear. He's just standing there on this little rock that is broken, and he's drilling. Then they put dynamite, they blast, the mountain recedes, and they build the road. On his right is the Teesta River. I'm sorry, I get a bit moved. I'm yelling at this fool, son, be careful. He didn't listen to me. There were others. We lost 9 kids opening the road. One of their homes I went, I met the mother, 55-year-old Sikkimese woman. True story. I said, Behan, aapka bachcha shaheed hua hai for India, for me. He was opening the road for me, for Doordarshan. Anything I can do for you. Government will give you compensation, federal government, Sikkim government, border roads, army. I will write you a check, personal check. Whatever Doordarshan is giving me for this documentary is all yours. Anything else. She said, sir, आप तो special advisor हैं. मेरे छोटे बेटे को नौकरी दिलवा दो 21 साल का. मैंने कहा, मैडम, मेरे दोस्त हैं दिल्ली में, private companies हैं, लगवा दूंगा. She said, भाई साहब, मैंने private company नहीं कहा. इसको border roads में लगा दो, ताकि वक्त आने पर ये भी शहीद हो जाए भारत के लिए. Who can fight a country that has mothers like this? Just one thing. Do you know what hunger is? Any of you, sir, you might know, but I'll tell you what hunger is. None of you knows. 1965, we fought a war. The rains didn't come. 66, the rains didn't come. My dear sons and daughters of India, listen to this. We borrowed, we were given, gifted 9 and 11 million tons of wheat from the United States. And we were told on Mondays, you will not eat. Sir, for 1 year I have slept hungry on Mondays. 1 whole year, 1966. Not that my father couldn't afford it, but he was a loyal Indian. He said no. Mrs. Gandhi went, an American newspaper wrote, Indian leader comes begging. Do you sense the humiliation? Indian, and you don't deal like that with Mrs. Gandhi. Tremendous self-respect. She came back and told her secretary, India will never beg for food again. Ladies and gentlemen, 2020, this country that put his hands like this is now the 2nd largest producer of food grains in the whole world. This is the India that we are doing. So as an Indian, what should you have? Faith and confidence in yourselves. Faith and confidence in your heritage. Beta, don't allow cynicism. ये जो लोग गंदी गंदी बातें कहते हैं, don't believe a word of it. सरकार को जितनी गाली दिया जाए, सरकार ये नहीं करती, arrogant है ये, वो सब कुछ है. हम बहुत देर से ये काम कर रहे हैं, and we know what we are doing. To be born Indian is a lottery of birth. Sir, राजकोट में पढ़े हुए एक व्यक्ति से किसी ने पूछा था कि मैं दुनिया कैसे बदलूंगा, और उस राजकोट में पढ़े हुए व्यक्ति ने कहा, अपने आप से शुरू करो. Be the change you want to see. उस व्यक्ति का नाम था मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी. From राजकोट. लिसोथो के प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो मेरे बॉस हैं, एक दिन उन्होंने कहा, दीपक वोहरा, ये समस्या का समाधान कैसे करें? मैंने कहा, सर, आई हैव नो आइडिया, यू हैव सो मेनी अदर एडवाइजर्स. आज तक सर, नहीं, तुम हिंदुस्तानी हो, तुम बताओ. सर, आप तो मेरे पीछे पड़ गए. ओके, अगर मैं आपकी जगह हूं तो मैं ये करता. 3 महीने के बाद मैं मसेरू जो राजधानी है वापस गया. मुझे दफ्तर बुला के कहते हैं, यू नो एम्बेसडर दीपक, आपने जो कहा मैंने वो किया और प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गई. ऐसे मुबारक हो. एज आई वाज लीविंग ही कॉल्ड मी बैक. ही सेड, एम्बेसडर दीपक, आर यू गॉड? I said, no, sir, I'm an Indian. That's the next best thing. Beta, we are lifting one Indian out of extreme poverty every second. Every second, we are lifting one Indian out of extreme poverty. Not my figures, UN figures. Every 2 seconds during the Swachh Bharat campaign, we built 1 toilet. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, every second we opened 2 bank accounts. Every 15 minutes, we are building 1 kilometer of highway. Sir, have you heard of a country called Russia? बड़ा शक्तिशाली है, बड़ा अमीर देश है. सितंबर में व्लादिवोस्टॉक में मीटिंग होती है. Look at this, sir. गरीब भारत, gives a soft loan of 7,000 crore rupees to Amir Russia for the development of science. आपके देश ने लोन दिया है बेटा. आज से 20 साल 30 साल बाद जब भारत का इतिहास लिखा जाएगा, लोग कहेंगे this was a defining moment in India's history. वो भारत भाग्य विधाता है आपके राष्ट्रीय गीत में, हम उसके सिपाही हैं. मैडम, I'm not an Indian because I live in India. I'm an Indian because India lives in me. मेरे अंदर बसता है मेरा देश भारत. कारगिल की लड़ाई जानते हैं ना आप लोग, 20 साल पहले 1999. This young villager, sir, from a village in Bihar went to join the Indian Army. People laughed at him, sir. My dear children, said you can't. तेरी तो दोनों टांगे कटी हुई हैं in a train accident घुटने के नीचे. He was handicapped. This kid pulls himself up and says, sir, मैं दुश्मन से लड़ने आया हूं, दुश्मन से भागने नहीं. टांगे नहीं है तो क्या हुआ? He was immediately recruited as a clerk in the Indian Army. बेटा, कौन मुकाबला कर सकता है इस हिम्मत का जो आपके देश में है? और अब आप देखिए बेटा, बहुत देर तक दूसरों ने भारत का इतिहास लिखा है, हमारा भविष्य उन लोगों ने लिखा. अब नहीं बेटा, never again. We know our past. A country that does not remember its past has no future. हमसे गलती हुई ना, तभी तो राज किया, लेकिन अब हम अपना भविष्य खुद लिखेंगे. कौन लिखेगा हमारा भविष्य? अब मैंने सुना नहीं. हम खुद लिखेंगे इस देश का भविष्य. आप लिखेंगे. आप ये वादा करो बेटा अपने आप से, आपकी मां भारत से, आने वाली पीढ़ी से, कि भारत का भविष्य हम लिखेंगे. बोलिए फिर से, हम लिखेंगे. और मैं एक वादा आपसे करता हूं बेटा, मेरी उम्र हो गई है, बहुत जल्दी मैं अपना शरीर छोड़ दूंगा. वक्त आने पर खाक हो जाऊंगा मैं, इस मां की गोद में सो जाऊंगा मैं. बजेगा ब्यूगल जब भारत का, फिर उठ के तैनात हो जाऊंगा मैं. I will rise again to serve India. This convergence is taking place, beta. Dekho, the greatest youth power in the world. You are optimistic, you are tech savvy, powerful new technologies, rising military strength, growing financial power, and your self-confidence, self-esteem, self-reliance is rising for the first time in human history. ये सारी ताकतें इकट्ठी हो रही हैं एक देश में. उस देश का नाम है भारत. कौन रोक सकता है इस ताकत को? जो जोर लगाए लगा ले. Nobody can stop India's rise and rise, India's renaissance, India's rebirth, India's rejuvenation because of you kids is underway. एक अमेरिकन डिप्लोमेट ने ये किताब लिखी है. It's about India. India, our time has come. How India is shaping its place in the world. Our time has come. How India is shaping its place in the world. And naturally, this book is a bestseller in Pakistan. We are the brave men and women who work while others sleep, who stay while others run. We build India's pillars deep and lift them to the sun. इतनी ऊंची नींव कर दो भारत की बेटा कि जो ऐसे देखेगा ना वो गिर पड़ेगा, वो समझ नहीं पाएगा इस देश को हम कहां ले गए हैं. स्वामी विवेकानंद ने कहा था, the future India must be much greater than ancient India. India is awakening. और आप में से जितने लोग पिछले 30 मिनट से सो रहे थे ना, You must also now wake up, क्योंकि भारत जाग चुका है. आप भी जागिए. और क्यों जागना है आपने? क्योंकि
अरे अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. अरे अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. अरे अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. अरे अभी तो पार्टी शुरू.
Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'm privileged to be a son of India. Thank you. Thank you. What an honor, what a pleasure, what a privilege to be in Rajkot. Thank you, sir. Yeah, absolutely. भाई आप लोग जितने सवाल पूछने हैं पूछिए और पराग साहब जवाब देंगे.
आई थिंक वी आर लेट, तो एक
Oh.
खत्म कर
मैं
देते
ज्यादा
हैं
बोल
इसलिए।
गया?
नहीं नहीं,
अच्छा.
आंसर
भाई
मुझे
टीवी
देना
वाले
है।
को बोलोगे तो फिर तो वो लगा
आंसर
रहेगा.
मुझे देना है ना, इसलिए कह रहा हूँ. हेमांग, वी कैन स्टार्ट विथ यू प्लीज.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. I am Hemang from Marwadi University. My question to you, sir, is you have traveled all around the world. What's that most unique thing about India today, and how youth should look forward towards making India better?
The most unique thing about India is its people. हम किसी से डरते नहीं हैं और जब हम कुछ करना चाहते हैं तो वो भी रोक नहीं सकता हमको. We do what we want to do. And to the young people जो शान भारत की बेटी है, बेटा अपने दिल की आवाज सुनो. आपकी लॉटरी खुल गई है कि इस देश में आपका जन्म हुआ है. मेरे लेपल पिन्स में आप देखेंगे, एक है भारत और गिनी का फ्लैग टुगेदर, दूसरा सिर्फ भारत का है. वो इसलिए है कि जब मैं विदेश में जाता हूं, अगर मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो जाए और मुझे ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन की आवश्यकता हो, डॉक्टर को मालूम होना चाहिए कि इसके जिस्म में तिरंगा खून है. That's why I wear this here.
Thank you so much, sir.
Just have faith, have confidence, have trust in yourself. चंगेज खान का नाम सुना है आपने? The great तानाशाह. उसने एक बात कही थी, वो मेरा हीरो था. उसने एक बड़ी मजेदार बात कही थी, अगर डरते हो तो मत करो, पर अगर करते हो तो मत डरो. ये बहुत उसने अहम लेक्चर मेरे को दिया था. मुझे 600 साल पहले मर गया था, but I remember when I read about him, ये चीज उसने कही थी. Remember that always, okay? Don't be scared of anything. आपकी ताकत आपके अंदर है, कोई नहीं रोक सकता.
युक्ति.
Jai Hind, sir, and Jai
हाँ,
Hind.
वंदे मातरम बेटी. माँ को सलाम.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Yukti Rajdev, and I am from J.H. Bhalodia Women's College. So my question is that you have studied in India and abroad too. So according to you, what changes we should bring in current education system which is prevailing in our nation?
You know, the new education policy, Beti, has just been published. Read it. We are getting away from this whole system of Akbar ka beta, Babar ka baap, Aurangzeb uska. We are now going to have a system where it is based on observation and on empirical knowledge. And you will have a whole range of courses to choose from. We want you to have a liberal, broad-based education that sharpens your mind, your ability to think. The focus of the new education policy, not because I work for the government, not because I was involved in drafting it, the focus is not on remember India, it's on think India. That's what we are talking about.
Thank you.
Think.
Sir. Yes.
अरे क्या ताली बजाने में नींद आ गई है सबको? आपने भोजन नहीं खिलाया था क्या? अच्छा खिलाया था, ठीक है.
भोजन तो खिलाया था,
खत्म हो
लेकिन
गया
थोड़ा,
होगा.
हाँ.
अभी फिर खिला देंगे.
हाँ.
हाँ जी बताइए.
Thank you, sir.
You bet, बेटा. जुनून रखो बेटा अपने आप में, confidence, all right? Passion, whatever you do it with passion. You are bound to succeed. विवेकानंद ने कहा था, one idea, let that be the totality of your existence. For me, it was the foreign service. Breathe that idea, live that idea, work for that idea, and you will succeed. And when I had gone out of Delhi, came back, उस time में mobile phone कुछ नहीं थे, and my dad, was a civil servant, was standing outside grinning. He says, Deepak, I told you to do the foreign service, you dedicated yourself. मैंने कहा मार पड़ेगी, fail हो गया. He said, you've come first in the combined exam. I said, well, thank you very much. Just make that.
And sir, one more question. You have chosen IFS over IAS.
अरे
So,
बेटा IAS वाई छोड़ो यार, foreign service में आओ. ये क्या बात कर रही हो आप administrative?
any specific reason for the same or just you
Well,
like?
at that point of time in 1973, an opportunity to travel overseas, to see the world, to grow my knowledge, to expand my mind. And I believe that having traveled to over 100 countries, served in 11, it has certainly enabled me to be a much better citizen of the world. All the time retaining my heart in India.
Thank you, sir.
कहाँ जाऊँगा इस देश को छोड़कर बेटी?
दीक्षिता.
हाँ बेटी.
Namaste, sir, and good afternoon, all. I am Dikshita from Jayaj Palodia Women's College. Sir, you served as an ambassador to many countries.
Six countries.
Yeah, in 6 countries. So, in which country you found the most challenging role and how you solved it?
That's a very intelligent question. Thank you for asking me. All the countries I served, Armenia, Georgia, Sudan, South Sudan, Poland, and Lithuania, were equally challenging. But Sudan was difficult. And I'll tell you why. One, there was a lot of violence at the period that I was there. There was conflict going on between the north and the south has ultimately separated. At one point of time, sir, in 2007, 3 Indian young workers working in the oil sector were kidnapped by a rebel group. And they wanted a ransom from the Sudanese government. The Sudanese government, of course, refused to pay. So without asking anybody on my own initiative, I listened to my heart, not to my mind. I speak Arabic, so I contacted the rebels and I said, take me instead. I've lived half my life, I'm 55 years old. These kids are 26, 25, 24. Let them go, मुझे रख लो. तो एक सवाल उन्होंने पूछा, आपको ले जाएंगे तो आपकी सरकार रैंसम देगी? मैंने कहा 2 रुपए मिल गए तो बड़ी किस्मत है, तुम्हारी कोई पैसा नहीं देगा. Anyway, the boys were ultimately released and I came back. Somebody reported this to my government and I got a very angry message from Delhi. ये आपने क्यों किया? It would have been an international incident. तो मैंने कहा यार गलती हो गई, अगली बार नहीं करूँगा. फिर से जवाब आता है वहाँ से 1 line telegram कि दीपक वोरा अब आने वाले तूफान से बचो. You know that they were going to punish me. आने वाले तूफान से बचो. मैंने भी 1 line का जवाब दे दिया. अरे साहिब मैं ही तो तूफान हूँ. उसके बाद उनका जवाब है तू नहीं सीखेगा कभी. I said I listened to my heart. I would do it again if Indian lives were at stake. All right?
Mansi, yeah.
Jai Hind, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My
Very
name is
lovely to hear you say Jai Hind.
My name is Mansi Mehta, and my
Mansi.
question is related to career management. As I have just passed my college and I'm about to pursue my career, so I have 2 different equal opportunities to pursue, but I'm little bit confused about that which one I have to choose about that between them.
What are the 2 opportunities? Civil service and private sector?
No, one is of like both are business, but both in different sectors.
Like?
One is like in IT sector and in share market sector.
Okay. Share market, as you understand, creates virtual wealth. IT sector creates real wealth. In Niti Aayog, we have identified 4 sectors. We call them sunrise sectors in India for the future, leaving out the civil service. Number 1 is what you call artificial intelligence. I call it engineered intelligence. जैसे ये सिरी का बच्चा जो झूठ बोलता है कौन सी बीवी है तेरी. So that was the first one, engineered intelligence. The second thing we are looking at is the movement sector. That means hospitality. The number of people coming to India. New Delhi, the National Capital Region alone, has 97 5-star hotels, the largest of any capital in the world. We have 97 in the National Capital Region. People are coming, people want to do business, etc. So that's the second sunrise, hospitality sector, leisure industry. Beta, the third we are looking at is agriculture. Because at the moment, what happened with the Green Revolution, we intensified our production. Whatever land we had, we took it under cultivation. Now we are looking for vertical growth in our agriculture. We call it smart agriculture. We have no pretension to saying we'll feed the world. But yes, we'll have a very, very handsome surplus in India. Oh, जितनी गाली देनी है ये journalists वगैरह वो गाली देते रहेंगे, उनकी बात मत सुनो. So take a look at engineered intelligence, take a look at the hospitality sector, take a look at smart agriculture as we call it. And the fourth are the new areas of education that you know better than I do, smart classroom. Everything is underpinned by that one sector in which India is supreme in the world, information technology. भाई जेफ बेजोस भी यहाँ आता है, बिल क्या नाम है, गिल बेट्स क्या उसका, हाँ क्या नाम,
बिल गेट्स,
हाँ वही बिल गेट्स, वो भी यहाँ. अरे एक काम करना, आपके पास ईमेल है उसका, अच्छा भेज दो भाई, उसका नाम बिल गेट्स है, पूछो नाम गेट्स है, विंडोज क्यों बनाता है बताना हो. और ये जो बेटा ये जो मैंने आपको प्राइवेट वेल्थ का जिक्र किया $8.2 ट्रिलियन, वो एक मलाई वाला भाग गया था ना लेके, क्या नाम है उसका,
विजय माल्या,
हाँ मलाई वाला, मलाया जो भी है, और एक वो हीरा मोती वो भी भाग गया, और एक वो चॉप सुई वो भी भाग गया. अरे कहाँ तक भागेंगे? भारत की ताकत देखो, वापस आएंगे और यहीं पर आके प्रायश्चित करेंगे जो कुछ इन्होंने किया है. Lot of that, a part of that 8.2 trillion is what they have absconded with. We'll bring it back, beta. Take my word for it. अब कहीं नहीं छुपेंगे, इस धरती पर नहीं छुपेंगे. और जैसे आपकी पीएम साहब ने किसी और संदर्भ में कहा था, अरे पाताल में भी छुपोगे, वहां से भी ढूंढ के ले आएंगे. कहाँ भागोगे हमसे? ये नया भारत है.
So one more thing, you have option at that time, like we all know that you have also done your commercials and acting. Then why you
Flop actor.
So because of that reason you have didn't pursue that,
Why?
like you are saying
फिल्म
that
फिल्म इंडस्ट्री.
film
अरे 2 फिल्में फ्लॉप हुई, घर आया जो मेरी पिटाई हुई कि तेरे को बोला था फॉरेन सर्विस का इम्तिहान दे. उस समय तो चाइल्ड राइट्स भी नहीं होते थे, बहुत पिटाई हुई थी मेरी. तो मैंने इम्तिहान
being an
देखा.
actor is your dream or just your passion?
What, the foreign service?
Nee,
Acting.
Acting.
Beta, I was a television star by the time I was 19 on Doordarshan. I used to do Good Morning India, everything. So next step was movies. But nahi bana to nahi bana. You know, if you don't get what you want, all you kids, if you don't get what you want, it's because you are being redirected to something better. All right?
Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you, sir.
And when the first woman I was in love with, she rejected me. I said, thank you for rejecting me. It's the beginning of me now loving myself. Thank you for not accepting me. When I have civil service and private sector as option, beta, you have to listen to your heart. Both are extremely rewarding careers.
Smith, please. Yeah. Sir, you have answered, right? I think. Yeah.
Namaskar to everyone present here. Jai Hind, sir.
Sir!
Sir, you are associated with government. How important do you think is to control corruption in India, and how government could work towards it?
You have asked a brilliant question. You know, beta, corruption mein, if you look at the transparency index, we are improving, but that's not enough. We hang our head in shame. बेटा घूस के टाइम में क्या होता है? एक देने वाला होता है, एक लेने वाला होता है. Now who do we tackle? The person who accepts or the person who offers? Second, son, when you bribe somebody to do something for you, naturally it has to be a government agency, municipality, income tax, police, this, that. You won't bribe another private sector fellow, you know, unless you want a contract for something from a company. तो बेटा जब आप ये देते हो, it's because you don't have trust that the system will deliver to you on its own. Therefore, through transparent bidding, through what we call e-tendering, we are trying to get rid of human interaction. Do you realize, sir, I'll tell you a little story, beta. Ultimately, your willingness to bribe somebody reflects a lack of self-esteem in yourself. Self-esteem, आत्मसम्मान. सर मेयर ऑफ न्यूयॉर्क मेरे बहुत दोस्त हैं, बिल ब्लासियो. तो जब भी मैं न्यूयॉर्क जाता हूँ, मेरे दोनों बच्चे वहाँ रहते हैं. सो वी गो इन ट्वाइस अ ईयर, 3 times. अभी नवंबर में गया, उन्होंने मुझसे कहा, दीपक, शैल आई सेंड माई कार? मैंने कहा पहले मेरा नाम दीपक नहीं है, दीपक है. खैर तू गाड़ी भेज दे, बड़ी काली गाड़ी आएगी, उसमें लाल बत्ती पू 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 सब होगा. कुछ नहीं था वहाँ पे, किसी को अलाउड नहीं है एक्सेप्ट प्रेसिडेंट एंड वाइस प्रेसिडेंट. So his driver was standing at the airport, beta. It was about midnight when I got there. He had a plaque in his hand which said Ambassador Deepak. So I put up my hand, 6 foot 7 inch ka. I still remember his name, Hanson. He was a black American. And he said, Ambassador, let's travel. So the moment you go out of JFK airport in New York, there's a red light in 50 meters, another one in 50 meters, yet another one in 50 meters. You do all these crossings, getting out of the airport. 12 o'clock in the night, he stops at each one. I'm tired, 22-hour flight. And I was coming from somewhere else. And then I said, Hanson, why are you stopping? Half seriously. And he said, sir, red light. And then half seriously, half jokingly, I said, Hanson, but at this time, who's watching? And his answer, sir, मैं तो देख रहा हूँ. I'm watching. What a beautiful answer he gave me. I come back 3 weeks later. My police driver receives me. My protocol guy says, Ambassador, jaldi, 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 बाहर निकलिए, सामान आ जाएगा. 2:30 in the morning. First red traffic light, my police driver jumps. Second one, he jumps. Third one, he's about to jump. I said, रोक गाड़ी बेटा. He said, क्या बात है? I said, ये बात है, मुझे जानना है. बहुत जोर की सुसु आ रही है. Let me get out of the car. He got out and he says, कुछ गलती की है मैंने? He understood. He's a cop. And I said, बेटा light क्यों तापी? Why did you jump the red light? You know his response? साहब इस वक्त कौन देख रहा है? And then I asked him, तेरी सारी जिंदगी depends on कौन देख रहा है? When you play with your children, you go out with your wife, you do your work, you go to the toilet, you eat your food, it's all dependent on कौन देख रहा है? Or do you take an autonomous decision? This kid salutes me, my dear sons and daughters of India, and says, साहब मेरे बाप ने मुझे ये कभी नहीं सिखाया, मैं वादा करता हूँ आज के बाद कभी नहीं करूँगा.
Thanks, sir, for your inspiring words.
Beta, ultimately, when I was your age, not your age, when I was 6, मैं बहुत शैतानी करता था, बहुत मार पड़ती थी सर मेरे पिछवाड़े पे. My father was a bit of a तानाशाह, तो बहुत मार पड़ती थी. 6 साल का था और मेरी माँ कहती थी दीपक क्यों करता है? मेरा जवाब, माँ सब करते हैं, राइट? सब बच्चे वही कहते हैं ना, सब करते हैं, पर माँ मैं पकड़ा जाता हूँ. मेरी माँ के कान पक गए सुन कर, दुखी हो गई. So one day she called a tattooist. Tattooist जानते हो कौन होते हैं? वो जो लिखते हैं अंडर द स्किन. आजकल तो आप चिपकाते हो, पहले अंडर द स्किन जाता था. 6 साल का था. She called a tattooist on my little right bum, मेरा छोटा सा पिछवाड़ा. She got him to write a quotation from the Bible, the Vulgate Gospel of Saint Matthew. Etiam si omnes ego no. In Latin or in Hindi if I translate, इसका मतलब भले ही बाकी सब मैं नहीं. And I have never forgotten that. इसका मतलब ये है कि सब रेड बत्ती जंप करेंगे, मैं नहीं. हेलमेट नहीं पहनेंगे, मैं नहीं. कानून का उल्लंघन करेंगे, मैं नहीं. टैक्स की चोरी करेंगे, मैं नहीं. That's why one of the African presidents, and I was deeply grateful, in a public meeting he said, ये आदमी कहता है जो उसको सच मान लो, इसको झूठ बोलना नहीं आता. What a beautiful compliment I got from that man. So just remember, and when I got married, my wife said, वो क्या है? मैंने कहा बाद में बताऊंगा जो लिखा हुआ है मेरे लिटिल बम पे.
कांची,
वही जो गाना हमने सुना था ना, अभी तो पार्टी शुरू, उसमें एक लाइन ये भी है, रोक सके तो रोक ले जिसके बम में है दम. तो वो भी हम देख सकते हैं. My daughters, please forgive me. The women, please forgive me.
कांची.
Namaste, I'm Kanchi Jain from SN Kansagra School. Sir, do you think exposure is vital for achieving something great in life?
You can get the exposure sitting where you are. This is the age of globalization of the internet.
Okay.
You should read on the net or in books success stories of great people. You should listen to people like Gopalakrishnan sir, people like Prabhu Chawla, even though he's very anti my government. You should listen to others who have spoken. These are people who share their experience with you. You know, if you don't learn from the mistakes of others, you are condemned to repeat them. So here, AIMA and RMA have given you this opportunity to listen to some of the finest minds in the world, not including mine, मैं तो बुद्धू हूँ, but those other minds, when you listen to them, it helps you to grow and make informed decisions. Right?
And sir, one more thing.
अगर डरना है तो किससे डरो? डर से डरो. किससे डरो?
There's-
डर से डरो, क्योंकि डर के आगे नहीं सुना, डर के आगे जीत है. डरना है तो डर से डरो.
We can, Yukti, we have, like question from the audience also. So then
Alright.
we can ask. Okay, we can, have Vatsal, please.
सबके हो गए यहाँ पे?
नहीं, बाकी है.
अच्छा, बोलो.
Quickly, please.
Namaste, sir. Myself, Vatsal Malkan, and I am a CA student. The question I would like to ask is that you had been in Guinea in 2014 when the world saw the worst Ebola pandemic.
Who told you about this? You read it in my biodata?
Yes.
I'll tell you about it. The president of Guinea, Conakry, who's a dear friend of mine, Alpha Conde, Ebola virus outbreak hua. His own village, which is a 6-hour trek, 30 minutes by helicopter. He had no contact. So we went there and 30 families, they were all dead. Their bodies were lying there. So he and I together, we had no protection. We buried those dead bodies. I contracted the disease. I was in a coma for a long time. That virus, there is no cure. It is dormant in my body. They managed to suppress it, but not cure it. So my doctors have told me the day it resurfaces, within 5 days, I'll be history. So therefore, I'm living every moment to the fullest, just to answer your question. And President of Guinea told everybody, he says, यार इंसान देखा है तो ये भारतीय ambassador दीपक. बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे ये सुन. I would do it again. I would do it for anybody. किसी के लिए जीवन न्यौछावर कर दूं, इससे बड़ी चीज़ क्या हो सकती है? Poor villagers. There was nobody willing to. जो गोरे इतना कुछ कहते हैं, उनमें से कोई जाने को तैयार नहीं था। हम भाई हमारे देश में आया क्यों था वो बेवकूफ़, क्या नाम था उसका, क्रिस्टोफर कोलंबस 1492, he came looking for us and landed up in America. गधा तो था. Then that other fool in 1498, क्या नाम था उसका, वास्को ड गामा. Why do you think these guys came to India? They were looking not for the climate of India, they were looking for the spices, they were looking for your wealth. That is the only reason they come. And that is the wealth that India is now showing to the world. तभी तो सब फिर से दौड़े आएंगे, लेकिन अब दिखा देंगे उनको.
Thank you, sir.
मनीष.
अच्छा अभी और टाइम है सर हमारे पास?
Just
नहीं टाइम है?
No, this is the last.
Last. नहीं उधर के लिए टाइम है?
अच्छा. Maybe.
Do we have some time, ma'am? Oh, great. कल सुबह तक है? अच्छा नहीं. Go ahead.
Vande Mataram, sir.
वंदे मातरम बेटा.
Respected Parag sir and dignitaries of the dais. Sir, as you show us the rising trends of India, we the youth assure you even high and great performance in coming future. I personally assure you that, sir. But my question is, even if we become the Vishwa Guru, then what qualities we should inculcate to be a down-to-earth person?
3 qualities that will ensure your success. First, integrity. Second, integrity. Third, integrity. इससे बड़ी कोई चीज़ नहीं है बेटा. Be true to yourself. Be true to your country. जिस देश का नमक खाया है उससे कभी छल कपट मत करो बेटा. All right? ये आपके ऋषि मुनि कह गए थे.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more question, please.
No, please. Sorry, Manish. Like we will open the session for the audience.
Sorry बेटा बाद में पूछ लेना.
Sorry, yeah.
Anybody?
Anybody? Yes.
Oh, there's one hand. 2.
Quickly, please.
जल्दी जल्दी. शीघ्रम. Yes, ma'am. पीछे भी जाना है. Ma'am.
Hello. Sir, why Narendra Modi is manipulating with other countries and many times I have seen that he maintains good relation with other countries. So what is reason behind it?
He maintains good relations with other countries. What is the reason? They love us. They gave him their, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE gave him their highest awards. Islamic countries giving us. Saudi Arabia has given permission for a temple. UAE has given permission for a massive temple. Bahrain has given permission for a Hindu temple. इसका मतलब क्या है बेटा? अब ये आपकी ताकत समझ रहे हैं. They can't do without India. जब इन पे आपत्ति आएगी, भारत जाएगा उनको बचाने के लिए. Okay? Remember that. Just have pride in yourself, faith and confidence.
Expectation है वो एक दूसरे country के साथ वो में.
अरे वो सब लोग हमारी इज्जत करते हैं, हम उनकी इज्जत करते हैं. We are not a disruptive country.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question and
that's it.
Yeah, one last question, please.
जा बोलो बेटा.
जय स्वामीनारायण सर. गुड आफ्टरनून. इतना ही क्वेश्चन है सर, मोदी जी को मिलना है तो क्या करना पड़ेगा?
पीएम से मिलने के लिए बेटा उनका एक ऐप है नरेंद्र मोदी ऐप, उसमें लिख दीजिएगा. आई एम श्योर यू विल हैव. गिव हिम एन आइडिया. ही लव्स टू मीट यंग पीपल. ही कीप्स इंटरैक्टिंग विद यंग माइंड्स ऑल द टाइम. I'm sure you'll get a chance to see.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
सर एक सवाल पूछ सकता हूँ सबसे जाते वक्त? भाई एक सही जवाब दे देना. How's the Josh? How's the Josh? How's the Josh? Thank you so much again.
Please.
Thank you.
Sir, I will just summarize in one line. I only learned one thing, that the median age is 28 and on the dais we are below the 28.
Absolutely.
And like some of them they are about 28, like
28 years and 1 month.
Yeah, 1 month. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Over to Dharti, please.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. Was it very, very fantastic? Let's show it then. Great. So be the change you want to see in the world. Change yourself first and the world will change. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. May I request the President, Mr. Parag Jobanputra, to please present a token of love and gratitude to Dr. Deepak Vohra.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, sir. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. जैसे ये पौधा उगेगा आप लोग भी उगे, अब भारत को भी उगने दीजिए, आगे ले जाइए इस देश को.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. May I request Mr. Sushil Naidu to please come forward and present a memento to Mr. Parag Jubanputra.
Oh, green tea, wonderful. ब्लू टी भी पिएंगे बाद में और चीन को रेड टी पिलाएंगे. उसमें जहर मिला देंगे. चेक.
एक शेर कहूँ छू, एक
क्या?
शेर कहता हूँ सांप के बारे में. मत फेंको पत्थर पानी में, इसे कोई पीता है. मत फेंको पत्थर पानी में, इसे कोई पीता है. जियो तो ऐसे जियो जिसे देख कोई जीता है.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very touched. Thank you very much, sir. Jai?
Thank you so much. May I
Jai?
request you to please step down the stage and
बड़े रोब से मैडम कहती है जाओ. मैडम जा रहा हूं.